legends. I hope that this message meets you with divine peace, light, balance, and most of all, miraculous energy. I just felt that. Like, I just really wish miracles for you guys. I wanted to come to you guys and kind of put a little redo, a little spin energy on the first reading that I actually did for the pick a card, the Gemini new moon. Not to say that that reading was not valid. It was definitely valid. I was just okay, so to be completely honest, the song Yeba Boomerang kept coming back to me, and it kept coming back to me, and it kept coming back to me. If you hear a lot of noise, guys, it's a lot of construction that's going on outside, so we're just going to tune that out so that we can tune into our highest good from this message. The song just kept coming back to me, and at first I was kind of annoyed with the energy, like, you know, what you done to me, I swear to you, it's gonna come back like a boomerang. I was kind of considering that like a little bit like negative energy. And I was just like, you know, like, it's the words of the song. It's like, why is my, sorry guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the song just kept coming back to me over and over again, kind of like sporadically, very sporadically throughout the day for a couple days. And I was kind of considering it negative energy at first, because I was like, you know, I'm doing all of this work to focus on myself. So yes, I know that things are going on in the background, but what is this part of me that is just so consumed with, it felt like consumed with the karma part of it. And then I could just tell that I needed to do some healing. But at first it was coming to me as like, okay, I need to cast out this energy. Because I know what my focus is, and I know, you know, that I'm working on myself and right? Let me get to the root of it. Speaking of root, that is the perfect word to use. In my mind's eye, I saw like a rooster, and roosters are symbolic for digging up roots, right? That's why they say that they protect us from evil. They dig up the roots. So if you were, like, let's say like a homeowner, and somebody were to put or bury, or, you know, like put some work in your backyard, the chickens would dig it up. I think that is very symbolic to the way that we treat some of the energy, the darker energy that right? Energy that can pop up for us on a day-to-day basis. So when I was going through this period of trying to cast out, like, you know, this negative energy saying you have no place here, you have to go, I'm focused on this, and, you know, I was just doing my thing. And what I noticed was it wasn't going nowhere. Like, it for real was not going nowhere. And I would change my frame of what I was thinking about, and I would change the energy, I would change the song, I would change my location, and then randomly 3 hours later, 5, 6, 7 hours later, what you done to me, I swear to you. It was like a record that was just replaying in my mind. So I was just kind of like, okay, clearly I need to tune into this energy and figure out what part of me is obsessed in a way with karma, and the karma of people that I felt like had did me wrong or that had taken from me. I didn't even really know. I couldn't put my finger on who exactly my spirit had these feelings towards. So of course I went into deep meditation and prayer. I'm not going to continue to talk about myself, but the purpose of me telling this short journey, one, is to be honest and vulnerable, because I just feel like that's very important as a person who is a light worker and who comes before you guys with these spiritual messages. I feel like it is very, very, very important to be open and honest about the times where we are not necessarily all the way correct. Like I said, the message in itself, when I gave the reading, it was a good reading. Like, I went back and looked at it again, and I said, okay, it wasn't as bad as, you know, I had anticipated by the way that it was coming up for me. But what I did notice was there are a lot of things that we do not consider when we do our self-reflection. And I feel like the biggest thing is often that mirror energy. And I feel like it is very, very difficult for us as a whole, as a human race, right? Because our emotions, that is like the biggest part of the human experience. Our emotions can sometimes lead us down a path to hold this victimhood mentality about ourselves that really isn't necessarily true. So I really wanted to tap into the mirror energy today. Because one thing that I didn't talk about in the reading necessarily was forgiveness. I did a lot of, you know, work on you and and Spirit was like, okay, that was cute. That was cute. But they took me deeper so that I could come and really help you guys, or help whoever is meant to hear this message, to really get past the root of the grief, the disappointment, the heartbreak, to upheaval, to uproot these feelings, right? And not to uproot them to cast them out as negative energy. Because this is one thing that I learned. Negative energy and positive energy are kind of the same thing. It's a balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need both. We need both. Because you cannot recognize what is truly good or positive or light. You cannot truly see and understand that until you have seen a certain level of darkness. And I don't think that process ever really stops. I think it is a constant process that continues throughout the entirety of our life. But I do think that it becomes easier once we do the self-work. Because once we are able to identify the positive and the negative, the light and the dark aspects of ourselves, right? The higher self and the shadow versions of ourselves, those multi-dimensions. Once we are able to give validation to both of those, accept both sides and everything in between, right? Because it's not like it's black, it's white. No, like, it's both. It's really both all the time. And we're always in a constant cycle of unlearning and relearning in order to bring together this cultivation of who we are today at this current moment. And I think that the great thing about Spirit is that Spirit allows us to go through these cycles and experience a lot of success while we are learning. And then later, when you start to feel like, uh-oh, I was doing good, like I was doing so good, like what's going on? Okay, now it's time for you to experience some darkness. It's just the cycle. And once you experience this certain level of darkness and you come to like an agreement with it, it's like a contract, right? Once you come to an agreement with it, you make amends with this dark part of yourself. Now you are able to, it's almost like you're shining light on your darkness. So it's relieving the shame. It's relieving the guilt. It's relieving the pieces of you that feel like you want to run and hide. Or the pieces of you that feel broken. I want to give some validation to these feelings because they truly do have their place. And one thing that I was really grappling with during my time doing my own shadow work was really coming to the acceptance that without a lot of these dark energies, I would not be where I am today. Period. I kind of want to talk about childhood wounds too, because I feel like a lot of times our deepest wounds stem from our childhood, right? But it's important to realize that I say this with all the love in my heart because I know that this is a difficult topic. I know that it can be very touchy, but I ask you to please listen with an open heart and try to envision a perspective beyond cognitive dissonance. If you have to cry, that's okay. If you want to scream, that is okay. That's actually a huge part of this message here, is actually facing the darkness in order to transmute it. And in order to transmute it in a way to where you make amends, you make true amends with yourself. So if you feel emotional, I encourage you to let it out. Please don't take it out on me. I'm just a messenger. I'm just the messenger, but it is what it is. I'm seeing a womb, but I'm also seeing a worm, like a larva. I think larva is plural. And I'm also seeing a sea. Okay. It's important for you to remember that you chose this journey before you were even in the womb. You chose it. You specifically chose this journey from a higher realm because you knew, your soul knew, your spirit knew that every single hardship that you were to experience in your childhood was all going to lead to the betterment and the compilation of who you are today. So when you think about those groups and those organizations that maybe you didn't fit in and you felt like an outcast, really tune into what were you doing though? You know, like what skills were you practicing that made you an outcast? Know that those skills had to be noted in order for you to eventually see it as a gift. You had to first be considered an outcast. And through being considered an outcast, I'm definitely getting like some rebellion energy, and I'm looking at of fire. So through your rebellion energy, you started to cultivate skills that are now in this compilation of who you are. And I'm really getting that these are skills that are leading you throughout the rest of your life, and they have actually changed the trajectory of your life. It's important to understand that every single person that you ran into, that you may have felt like they were just taking, and you didn't understand why you just kept giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and it felt like you gave and gave and gave until you couldn't give no more. But baby, let me tell you, you chose to give because you knew that you were in a state of abundance. That's why your spirit and your soul were in agreement. Like, we are in abundance. You already knew that you had this massive healing energy within you. However you choose to express that healing energy, whether it is through music, whether it is through teaching, or anything with, I'm really getting like hands, using your hands, like massages, or craftsmanship, like building, or painting, artwork. All of these gifts, you knew that you had in abundance. Alright, I'm being led to just go ahead and I channeled a song before I joined. I haven't picked up this guitar and I don't know, it's been months. But this low E, when I looked it up, resonates with the sign of Scorpio, which is representative of death. And I think that that is a huge topic for today. Is a huge topic as far as talking about exiting your dark night of the soul, right? Because you have to face probably several deaths. You have to get to the root of where the chaos is coming from, right? And then once you get to the root, there are now things that you have to take the steps in order to release, right? And a lot of times once we release, there can be like a void, because it's like, you know, I done let go of all of this stuff. Now what do I have? Am I empty? No, you're not empty. You're not empty at all. I encourage you to sing. I encourage you to sing, whether you can sing or whether you don't sing. I encourage you to sing or dance. Do something that activates your body. Movement. It can even be like humming or chanting. Bringing that vibration into your body, I think really does help to move that energy around. A lot of times, just being completely honest, you might end up crying, because with transmutation, a lot of times I feel like there is an emotional release that we tend to want to skip because it can be difficult. But I encourage you to just go ahead and trust yourself, and know that even if you do cry, even if you do, you know, shed some tears, know that you won't be in that space forever. You won't be depressed forever. Start to move. Start to clap. Clapping moves around energy. When the teachers used to go, okay, and everybody used to shut up and be like, it moves energy. It's a way of, you know, it's a way of transmutation. It produces that auditory sound, the vibrations. I don't know, guys. I'm getting lost. Here we go. messy, but sometimes transmutation can be messy. So I'm gonna put myself out here. I don't play the guitar. I don't though. Like, I don't want you guys to be like I do not play the guitar. I've been trying to like reteach myself lately. But that melody came through before I did this reading. So I said, well, let me just share. All right, that was healing though. I really love that. I love that melody. Straight from Scorpio. Didn't even know that that was Scorpio energy. If you guys have a guitar, I encourage you to use your instruments. I know I talked about voice, but definitely also use your instruments if you have any instruments around. Even if you aren't, you know, like necessarily like skilled, like I wouldn't consider myself to be a skilled guitar player. I don't even really know how to read all of the notes yet. However, I know how to learn patterns that sound good. So I just encourage you to step away from the perfectionism that a lot of times I feel like we bound ourselves with. And really just step into the fullness of your own creation energy. That in itself is a huge way to transmute, and not only to transmute, but it's a way to express self-love to yourself, to your masculine and to your feminine energy, honestly and truly, because the masculine is taking the action of, you know, doing something that is out of the box. The feminine energy is giving you the ideas of how to move your fingers or how to fluctuate. I don't know why that came up, like wind instruments, like the trumpet, or you know how when you play the trumpet, sometimes it's, or not trumpets, but like certain instruments, it's about the way that you control your throat, like the breath that's going through your throat. I could never really do brass instruments. A bird just came and said, like, it's okay, girl. One day I'll learn, okay? I'm going to learn all these instruments one day. And I just encourage you to step out of perfectionism and step into the fullness of your creativity energy, so that you can just experience love in a different way. And a lot of times I feel like, you know, we are our own biggest critics. So yeah, I encourage you to just be free. I wanted to pull a couple pure magical oracle cards regarding this energy about mirrors and true forgiveness. True forgiveness, again, I think it really starts with yourself. And once you are going down this path of self-discovery and really learning to love all of the parts of you, even the dark parts of you, or the negative parts of you, or the nasty parts of you, whatever, the humiliating parts of you. Once you make amends with those parts, you're able to then make amends with the mirrors that the universe is now showing you, right? And a lot of times I feel like, we can get 11 on the clock. I feel like we can get distracted by our emotions when we are in the world and we're experiencing other people and the way that they express their emotions, and we can take it personally and feel like, you know, somebody is doing something to me, right? Like attacking me. Now, this is clearly not talking about actual physical attacks, right? How spirit. I say this with all of the love in my heart and also very much caution. A lot of times when we are experiencing outside of our childhood, right? When we're children, a lot of times we cannot choose. But then we see that those cycles are repeated when we get older, and we start to choose partners that may abuse us in the same ways that we were used to experiencing as a child, because we continued those cycles once we left the house, if we left the house, or even if you don't necessarily like leave residentially, like where you live, You still leave and go out into the world every single day, and you communicate with other people. So I kind of lost it a little bit. We allow ourselves to choose partners that trigger us, sometimes in the absolute worst ways, even going as far as us choosing partners that physically abuse us. And we choose these partners over and over and over again because of the mirror that they hold up to us that we are afraid of looking at. I just want to just hold space right now. I'm sending light energy. It's selenite. I'm sending light energy to those of us that are experiencing abusive relationships right now. Whether that is physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse. You will wake up. May you wake up and rise. I'm seeing the sun. You will rise like the morning star. Once you are no longer afraid to see the mirror in that person or these people. Because no, you may not physically abuse yourself. Some of us have experienced that. Some of us have experienced a level of physical abuse that was done to ourselves. And I feel like that is okay. Because our soul and our spirits will choose this journey. Our higher self will continue to choose these things until there's something that clicks that's like, I want to choose something different. And that in itself can be absolutely terrifying, because what is different? Like, what does that even mean? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that feel like? How can I get to an experience that I don't even know exists? That's just what I just heard. How can I have an experience and I see a bird? Wow. How can I have an experience that I don't believe exists? And you can experience that through yourself. It is just truly a means of getting to know yourself. And I'll say there is probably, for this group that's listening, and if you've been in here for this long, most definitely am talking to you. There will be a period of, like, I'm hearing sacred celibacy, as well as like I'm like channeling the Hermit card from tarot, which is going within the heart. The story of the Hermit is a man is going through the forest or like a dark night in order to find the light, right? But he goes into the forest with his lantern and he's looking for the light, only to find at the end of the forest that he was the light. But while he was going through this forest, this solitary journey, I'm hearing this solitary journey. While you are going through this solitary journey, you will be experiencing many parts of you that you did not know exists. And it will be your job, or like your mission, to love yourself love these parts of yourself that are coming up that you never gave light to. This is shadow work. When we say shadow work, this is what we're talking about. It is a process of revealing to your conscious mind, revealing what was previously unseen because it was in your unconscious. Whether that's because you were pushing it down because you felt like you didn't have time to understand it. That's also a choice. Because if you feel like you don't have time, then you are putting your time elsewhere. So I encourage you to pay attention to where are you putting your time. Spirit really had to sit with me about that. I have went through just like short interruption to talk about me. No, I'm kidding. From your Oracle bestie. But Spirit has had to put me in check several times where they have, in a way, just like shut everything down to where I had no choice. I didn't have a choice but to tune in. I didn't have a choice. And what I learned was you can run from everybody and you can run from everything. You cannot run from yourself. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot run from your demons, and you cannot cast them out. You cannot. You cannot. You cannot only acknowledge your angels. You cannot only acknowledge the good things about you. You cannot. You must acknowledge the balance. I want to pull a couple of these cards. I love that we're just here channeling today. It feels very serious. I know I'm usually like laughing. I swear I'm not like upset, guys. It's just this is more of a serious topic, exiting the dark night of the soul. And a lot of times when you're at the end, it's like it's the most hardest triggering parts, because you know that you're at the end, but it's like, can I see? Like, I can't see nothing. Like, I don't know where I'm going. It feels like I don't know where I'm going. I'm just trusting. Like, I heard blind hope. Not blind faith, is giving blind hope. So even the fact that blind hope came up instead of blind faith, I feel like that in itself is Spirit asking you to yes, wow, ooh. Spirit is asking you to tune in to them. Tune into them. They want you to go outdoors. That is one way that you can tune into them. They said, okay, hold on, we gonna give it to you. Going outdoors and connecting with nature. Taking your shoes off. When you go to the park, don't go and lay out a cover. Just go sit on the ground. Like, you'll be fine, I promise. Like, if you get a little ant bite, you probably won't even feel it until the next day. Like, it's not that serious. And if you do get a bite, you can easily look online to see what spices or herbs you have in your cabinet that will help the bite, you know, help the itch. Honestly, I'm getting plantain. Plantain is a plant that it kind of looks like the dandelion leaves. It is all around us. So literally the same place where you know found the ailment, or you know, like a little bug bite, you can, before you leave the park, if it's a state park or you know a place where you know that they don't spray a whole bunch of herbicides and stuff, grab you some plantain. Get some plantain. Well, ask. I always ask before I just start taking stuff. Yes. I'm like, you definitely have to ask. Ask the nature space that you're at. Ask the elements themselves. Like, ask the trees, ask the ground, ask the plantain. Like, are you okay with being picked? Because sometimes you don't want to just go and pick any plantains, because sometimes a plant might be like no, or you might just get a feeling. Like, sometimes if you get a pain in your stomach, or like you start getting a little twinge, or like, you know, ow, something just flew in my eye, that means not this plant. Get another plant. That's how nature speaks to us, because they don't have words. They don't have like you know, like language. They do, but it's not like English, French, Spanish, Japanese. Is not that kind of language. Those are man-made. Nature speaks in vibrations, and nature speaks in like symbols. Yes, nature speaks in symbols. They want you to go outdoors, and I'm really getting that that's going to help you break this like creative blockage that you may have been feeling. Also, while you are outdoors, you can practice your channeling. You can practice your writing. You can practice your visualizations. If you are a speaker, but you haven't spoken in a long time, you can close your eyes under the sun, lean your head back, hands, feet in the grass, head to the sun, and just imagine yourself giving a speech on the Apollo stage, or like giving a speech at the White House. I don't know, that is outlandish, but I mean, honestly, somebody might be giving a speech at the White House. So outlandish to me, that's only my very limited perspective. So I'm not gonna limit you guys with, you know, my own. Let me be quiet. Yes, that's blocked creativity even in me. So see how things like, I always say you can't read for a collective that you weren't a part of. And just kind of triggered me. So I just learned, like, I have some limiting beliefs that I have to get rid of. Also, it is going to help you feel more protected. We've been talking about simplicity for a long time. And I feel like going out in nature and connecting with the plants, connecting with the microscopic life, you know, will really help you with the idea of simplicity. When you start to see how all of these animals are interconnected, but they live these very kind of like simple lives for the most part. I don't know. We only get to see like a little short snapshot. You will get to see the way that these animals interact with each other in ways that you might not have recognized. That alone is, I'm getting like a huge release in oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. Just like a quick random fact, I know we've been talking about like a little bit diet and health. I just actually read an article the other day that talked about how soybean oil causes a lot of brain dysfunctions, but it especially decreases the amount of oxytocin that the brain is able to produce. Songs just came up again. Yes, songs, incantations, chants, they really want to activate your voice. I'm hearing like voice activation, and it's going to help you speak up for yourself. Even if the speaking up is to yourself, I feel like first we have to learn how to speak to ourselves and speak up for ourselves. Well, first you have to learn how to speak to yourself in a loving and kind way, and not, you know, casting stuff out and trying to beat this out and, Lord, if you just rip it from me. He not gonna rip it from you. He gonna broadcast it on your TV screen, and if you not paying attention, then he gonna send it to you in a TikTok, and then if you get irritated and you try to smoke and go to sleep, you gonna have a dream about it. Because you cannot run from yourself. And it's not even, excuse me for saying he. I grew up in a Christian church, so I'm still working on like taking away gender from spirit, especially talking about God. But yes. Spirit just wants you to know, like, stand firm in your love for yourself. Like, stand firm in your love for yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my messages from the Animal Spirit Guides deck. And let's just see. Wow, I love that I just opened it up and the spider popped out. Trust your creative spark, your feelings, and express it through writing stories that inspire and enlighten. This is a very artistic and creative crowd that I'm talking to. I love you guys. Can I just say that? If nobody's told you that, Ken on the clock, if nobody's told you that they loved you today, just know that I love you from the bottom of my heart. Even if I don't know you, I truly do love you. Get support from a trusted group of like-minded friends. I love that this popped out, especially when opening circle and protection popped out upside down. So spirit is wanting to this. So we were talking about, you know, like sacred solitude. This is a period to where once you are open to going into this sacred solitude, afraid or not, honestly, I feel like there's not going to be a time where you are not afraid to do something completely new, especially when the pathway isn't like clear and able to be seen. But spirit wants you to know, first of all, you're a trailblazer, so that's why it's brand new. Like, nobody's done this before in the way that you are supposed to do it. Nobody has lived this journey and acquired these skills and cultivated these relationships. I'm hearing nobody has cultivated these relationships like you in order to portray this perspective in a way that reaches so many people like how you can. And that's just the point, the blank, and the period. So really just be okay with being the outcast, because being the outcast, honestly, once you go within and you tune into that hermit mode and you start to reconnect with nature and you start to reconnect with yourself and you start to reconnect with your own creativity and your own, I'm hearing like opening your heart chakra, like once you have that blooming lotus feel, this is the lotus mudra. Ooh, almost left me. And it's interesting that this is for opening the heart chakra. Once you are able to feel this love from yourself and really validate it, I feel like you will be a lot more okay with, like, you know, that like outcast kind of perspective, because it doesn't even matter. Honestly, the people that are looking at you like that, they are not your like-minded people. They're just a mirror of the ex-paradigm of what you came from, the struggles that you left, the struggles that you are continuously working through and moving through. Not necessarily a reflection of your present. So I feel like a lot of times we can, it's like a distraction. That's what it is. It's like a distraction. We get distracted because we just feel, I encourage you guys to, this is very easy to do. Look, here. I feel like if you look up Lotus Mudra, this might come up. But this is a heart-opening mudra, okay? I've been doing this for months. Working on Cancer energy, because I know how Cancer energy can do me. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, Cancer energy is not a hoe. Whoa. But Cancer is also the mother. Cancer embodies the energy of the moon. Cancer embodies the energy of our deepest, darkest emotions. I'm getting like rivers. It's giving river, because the river is always going to flow. And the river also is very long. The river expands. And more than likely, the river is attached to a larger body of water. Come on, symbolism. Get back connected with your roots. Go outside and take them shoes off. And don't bring no cover. And go sit your booty on the ground. Go put your feet in the dirt. I'm hearing somebody needs to bury themselves. And I just got a lot of cards with that. Alright. if you are if you live in an area with like a clean beach, it might be beneficial if you bury yourself in the sand, and just do like a ritual. It's the same as, I'm getting like, it's the same as baptism in a way. You know, the water cleanses you and purifies you, right? Well, when you bury yourself, it's almost like, don't bury your head, please. Like, please don't bury your head. Like, just start at your shoulders. Even keep your neck open so that you can have, like, you know, it's not weight on your throat, so you can breathe. But it represents a death in a way, I feel like, to actually cover yourself in this earth. And there's also a really, really, really deep way to reconnect with the roots of the earth and the core of the earth. That's a lot of energy. They say that at the center of the earth there's fire, but there is also water and oceans. That is a lot to be said there. I want to tune into the fact that the seagull popped out, and I'm almost sure that that is the bird that I keep seeing flying overhead. It popped out upside down, and the card reads, now is the time for deep emotional healing, which is just letting me know that you guys kind of don't want to do this because it's just really, it's a difficult process. So let me read the other cards that came out with that. The cat. It's time to strike out on your own and relinquish your over-dependency on others. So yes, it can be difficult. Yes, you might not be able to see how, but Spirit wants you to know, don't worry about the how. Let them worry about the how. We got the how. You worry about the now. That was profound. 3-4 on the clock. That was profound. We got the how. You worry about the now. Music is essential to your healing and your well-being, whether singing, playing an instrument, or listening. I love how this is all coming back full circle. I also want to just we talked about last time, well, a couple of times before, we were talking about music and the vibration of you know, the music that we listen to, the compilations, the playlists, the radio, and how that can have a very dramatic effect on your mental health, on your well-being. And I know that this is not popular, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because it's very, very true. I feel like there is a mass spiritual attack, or like a mass spiritual warfare that is going on with our music industry and the things that they push out. I do not say this lightly, because even the things that seem like, you know, oh, this is not that bad, when you look at the patience over passion. When you look at the symbolism in the videos and you pair it with the words that are used, pay very close attention to what you are repeating to yourself. I love SZA, but boy, I can't lose when I'm with you. How can I snooze and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. I can't lose. Okay, I love SZA. It's very beautiful. When I listen to more of those words, I get triggered, because it's like, it's a mirror. I'm being guided back to the mirror. Understand that the powers that be in this 3D reality are very aware of sound healing, vibratory frequencies and their effects. I encourage somebody to, I don't know who, I encourage you to dig into the history of 808s. Okay? Notice that one of the first things that probably pops up for a lot of us is 808 and heartbreak. Beep, beep. That's not for no reason. I'm going to leave it there because I feel like it's self-explanatory. Be careful not to cast spells over yourself, saying things that you truly don't want, just out of habit or because you like the beat, because something sounds good. Do you not know the stuff that's inside of you that you can make that sounds good? And actually, I'm actually being led to tell you that as you go through your process of sacred solidarity and you go through your deaths, your several deaths and your releasings, you will start to, wow, yes, wow, while I'm talking, the snow leopard popped out. Take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. Once you are in your solitude period, Spirit will reveal to you music, art, and people that are reachable, that are on the same or similar path as you. So it won't even be, you won't be in this void. You won't always be in it. You won't continue to be in it. And the only way that you will is if it's mental. You know? If you allow yourself to continue to just kind of stay in that mindset where it's like, well, I don't know what else to listen to, so I'm just about to listen to this. No. Especially if your spirit is telling you it doesn't like it. That's your Ori and your higher self. Tune in. I just heard, I'm seeing like a spiritual bath. So cleansing might be necessary for somebody. The Botanic is also open for any personal blend. So if you are looking for a bath, like a herbal bath for cleansing, releasing, protection, self-love, during this time of solitude, I encourage you to reach out to any of, and this reading is timeless, Ken on the clock, this reading is timeless. I encourage you to reach out to any of our social media pages, or even on the website, and just drop me a 333. And when you drop the 333, I'll drop your 333 in your name, okay? 333 in your name. And then when you do your booking, I will give you a voucher or a coupon. Because I want this to be a collective thing. This is not just the, you know, I don't want you to feel so by yourself. Wow. As I was talking, music is essential to your healing and well-being, whether singing. So the messages are starting to repeat. They really just want you, I feel like there's an emphasis on music, sound healing. I feel like I'm either talking to a bunch of artists, which makes sense because I'm an artist myself, or I'm talking to a group of people, or people who just, it's like, it's giving music is life. It's giving music gives you life. So make sure that the music that you are listening to is giving you life. What is the music that you're listening to? What is that giving you? because you deserve good affirmations. You deserve positivity. You deserve peace. You deserve joy. I just heard, I feel like I'm Gucci Mane in 2006. I always get like these little channels. And I feel like that's okay. And like, that's another thing too. Because once you go on your journey of your sacred solidarity and you are cleansing, you know, the music that you listen to, you will have these little moments where, you know, spirit will drop into you the music that you used to listen to. And I feel like when you listen to it, like the certain songs that pop up, you'll be like, hey, I don't know, like it's different. It's different because I feel like when certain things come up, you'll know when to turn it off. You know what I'm saying? If you even have to turn it off. But more so, like, they'll be able to use it in order to give you a message. And not just you bombarding yourself with demonic energy. I'm sorry to call it that, but just instead of you bombarding yourself with dark energy, notice how a lot of the music that we listen to is very, very, very dark. It's like we connect with these artists through like trauma bonds, but we don't know them, so it's like through sound. It's very weird. It's not weird, it's archaic. That's what it is. It's systemic and it's archaic, and it's time for that shit to fall the fuck down. Sorry. Resistance. I got resistance and shine. So once you guys are, I'm really getting like, once you guys are able to see that music and sound is medicine, you will be more cognizant of what you are feeding your mind, your spirit, your heart, and your emotions, right? Forgiveness, soul forgiveness. Yes, so I feel like even a lot of the sadness, a lot of the songs that we listen to that are just full of like sadness is because we are in a state of resistance and just refusing to forgive ourselves for certain things. And I'll be completely honest, like there are certain things where I have to forgive myself a couple times, because the first time that I may have forgiven myself, I may have left out some certain verbiage and some certain feelings like that I had to verbalize because I didn't even have the verbiage to call it that. But one thing about spirit, once you take the first step, they gonna help you, push you, boost you, carry you, move you to your next steps. And it'll be like a constant flow. You just have to take the first step. And know that, I say this with all of the love in my heart, know that every time you choose to ignore your higher self, every time you choose to ignore the times where somebody is mirroring something to you, I'm getting like hatred, like when people are mirroring self-hatred, right? And it can be triggering because it stings, because you feel the same way about yourself. And it's like you might be looking at them like, why would you say this to me? You hate me? But they're mirroring the way that you feel about yourself. That's why it stung like that. Spirit wants you to speak up for yourself, even if you, I heard even if you stutter. And that's why I just kind of stuttered. Even if you stutter, or even if you stumble, or even if your voice cracks or croaks, even if you cry, know that that will be a pivotal moment in the way that you are able to stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself in the future. That is going to propel you into a heightened state of confidence that you probably did not even know existed, because you were afraid and resisting those emotions in the first place. But once you once you get past, or once you choose to act upon what you know you should say or what you know you should do, once you take those steps, you are taking several steps away from self-betrayal. And as you step away from self-betrayal, you will no longer match the energy frequency of people that you feel like betray you. Why? Because you don't betray yourself. So when people are giving you that vibration, you can recognize it instantly. Because I love me. And I do for me. And I create peace for me. And I make a home for me. And I create for me. And I nurture me. So anything outside of that vibration, I can tell exactly what it is. Even if I can't tell exactly what it is, I can tell that it's just a little bit too different from what I'm doing. And I just feel like if you can't match my vibration of love and forgiveness and mercy and grace that I give to myself, well then I'm so sorry, there's no space for you here. Because my spirit team gonna top it. And best believe, as within, so without, as above, so below. Best believe that it will not just, it won't always be just you and your spirit team. They will bring you physical people so fast. You cannot make this shit up. They will bring you physical people in your life so fucking fast. My ears are ringing. This is my masculine. Quick. Oh, yes. And this is Scorpio just playing. A lot of us, our masculine energy is going through an ego death of feeling like we have to control everything. And spirit just wants you to know, like, release control and let them control it, because you was never really, you wasn't doing that good. I'm sorry, but it's like by yourself, you weren't doing that good. What's the saying? Like, by myself, I can get far, but together we can go further. Or we can go farther. Farther. Yeah, like, you were doing good. Don't get me wrong. You were doing amazing. You were doing great. But spirit wants to elevate you to a level that you don't think exists. So I need you to put your helmet on. Strap your nuts on. Get the kids out the room. Strap your nuts on. Okay? Pull up your big girl or your big boy or your big them panties. I'm sorry. Pull up your big person panties. And know that you are the motherfucking one. You are being called upon to provide leadership. So trust that you are able to do so. This is a tiger. This is big Leo energy. And that's interesting. Is Leo the lion or the tiger? I'm channeling Leo. I think it's still giving leadership. So maybe that's where the Leo is coming from. Maybe somebody is a Leo, which is very telling of today's age. We keep talking about the age of Aquarius. Well, the sister sign to Aquarius is Leo. So like the opposite energy. But Leo is very like fiery, you know, very like leadership, very like people say can be stubborn, you know. So I'm just getting like they want you to break out of that stubbornness. Break out of that stubbornness. You can practice with your body. I think that's why like songs, movement, chants, that is it keeps coming up. It's something about the throat chakra. This card is blue as well. Also dreams. I'm really getting like the things that you aren't expressing is coming through, and you might be feeling like it's attacking you in your dreams. So you need to speak up. You need to speak up. Even if it just starts with you speaking up in a journal to yourself. Or even like sometimes I don't want to write that much. I used to go and just make these long videos in my phone. That is completely okay. These are not things that necessarily need to be shared with other people because this is sacred solidarity. Mirror magic. I almost forgot. I almost forgot. I love that we were talking about mirrors and then mirror magic came up. Yes, draw down the moon, work with the moon energy. I believe that today is the last day that Cancer, that the moon is in Cancer, but I'm not sure. I also wanted to just bring light to the fact that a lot of times our biggest struggles are often our biggest struggles because they were, like past life struggles. And when I say past life struggles, I am talking about things that you have experienced in lives previous to this one, as well as things that are just like embedded in your bloodline. So when we talk about like generational curses, even generational curses, right? We call them curses. Even generational curses are reflective of past life wounding. I encourage this group to sit in the mirror and just practice this mantra. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. And once you do that, don't like look for changes, and it's going to be very subtle. I'm getting like it's going to be very subtle. And when you are faced with obstacles and you feel that emotion, that triggering, know that it's a past life trigger. And just quietly say to yourself in your head, remember who you are. Notice where you feel the energy in your body. And you can touch it. You can put your hand on it. You can do this in front of a mirror, or you can do it not in front of a mirror. And you can ask that pain, that feeling, where did you come from? I encourage you to close your eyes or stare at yourself in the mirror, because that's heavy mirror work. When I first started mirror work, I noticed that I was not comfortable looking in the mirror. I will always find myself looking away. Really look at yourself and ask, like, where did you come from? And we are saying you aren't talking to yourself, but you're talking to the feeling that's within you, right? Because we are not the mind or the body. We are the spirit. And we are the soul expression. We have souls, right? But we are spirits in bodies with minds. So you are asking the body, or you're really asking the mind in a way. You're asking the mind, which triggered this feeling in the body, where did you come from? You might hear something that you never heard before, and I would tune into it, tap into it. May this group continue to move with the highest light and the most divine balance of light and darkness within themselves, so that they are able to see the beauty within all things around them. May we continue to remember that we are a part of nature. And glory be to the Most High, God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Ai Bobo to our lineage, and Ashe to our ancestors, our benevolent ancestors that continue to walk with us and guide us on this path to our highest well-being. As we continue to take steps, we know that we are being propelled forward into a space that we did not even know existed. May we continue to elevate. May we continue to rise. To the highest altitude of light, unperceivable to the human eye. But without discretion, able to be seen by all beings, as we are a part of the one, and the one is us. Ashe. Thank you guys for joining me today. This was a more serious reading, but I love you guys, and sometimes, you know, it's just called for. This is a time of deep healing, sacred celibacy for some of us, for a lot of us, and sacred solitude. So I love you guys. If you need me, the Botanica is open, and feel free to reach out and sign up for our Reiki commission. I would be more than happy to help you guys transmute some of this energy through Reiki Healing. I love Reiki because it allows you to transmute energy without doing too much work at all. Like, you literally just lay there and you just feel the blockages being removed. You feel the energy flowing through your body. It's a very peaceful time, honestly. Like, when I was in my Reiki class, me and some of my classmates, we were kind of laughing. Like, after Reiki, we'd be like, we feel high. Like, it's funny. Like, I don't know, guys. All right. I hope that everyone has a great day and enjoy your beautiful Venus day, or whatever day that you are watching this. If you are tuning in from the future, time is parallel and this reading is timeless. I love you and stay legendary. Catch you in the next video. Peace.